Good evening. You already know what to do with the money. I know. Invest early, spend less than you earn, build something that compounds over the time. You have known this for quite a while. And yet, somehow, the life you want still feels further away than it should. The years keep passing, and the intentions stay the same. The action never quite catches up. The gap between knowing and doing is the most expensive place a person can live. The first place the sabotage happens is so obvious it gets missed completely. Building a life you never actually wanted. Think about the last time you made a significant financial decision. The apartment upgrade, the car upgrade, the job you took because the salary made sense on paper at least. So, at the moment you made it, it felt like progress, like you were moving in the right direction. But honestly, whose direction was that? Because here is what happens over the years. You build towards a version of success that was never really yours. The house that looks right from the outside, the title that sounds impressive at a dinner party, or the lifestyle that photographs well. And you fund all of it diligently, consistently, month after month. And then one day you look at the numbers and the money is gone, and the freedom feels exactly as far away as it always did. The future you actually want is almost always simpler than the one you are currently financing. It costs less to run and it produces more freedom per dollar spent. And it usually requires far less of the spending that was compensating for a life that never quite fit in the first place. For a good life, suffering is not the entry requirement. Neither is it for financial security. What you need is direction, useful work, a destination you actually chose rather than one you absorbed from the expectations all around you. Because when you enjoy what you do, it stops feeling like work. Everybody knows this. The Mondays feel different and the energy is definitely different. And the financial progress starts feeling natural rather than like something you are forcing against the current. When every day starts feeling like survival, the salary, the paycheck, is rarely what needs changing. What needs changing is the direction. And when the direction feels wrong, something predictable happens. Consumption becomes compensation. Consumption becomes compensation. You work hard and it feels draining. And at the end of a difficult week, your brain sends a completely reasonable signal. You deserve something for this. Evidence that the effort was worth it. Sometimes you are not buying a reward, you are buying relief. The dinner, the iPhone upgrade, the reward that makes the grind feel temporarily justified, okay? And look, there is nothing wrong with enjoying your money. The problem is the pattern underneath it. When spending becomes the primary way you manage the feeling that something is off, the financial consequences accumulate quietly. Every reward purchase is also a delay in building the gap that eventually becomes freedom. You spend money maintaining a life that was never quite right for you. Money that could have been building the exit so you can own the big boat. Have you ever bought something primarily because the week was hard and you needed to feel like it was worth it? Tell me if this happened to you too. You do not need a bigger salary. You need a life that costs less energy to maintain, okay? A life built around what you actually want, not what looks right, not what makes sense to everyone around you. It requires less compensation and less reward purchasing, less spending to manage the feeling that something is missing. And when you stop financing the wrong life, the gap simply opens up. The difference between what you earn and what your life actually costs become real. And that gap, protected deliberately, automated and consistently, is where freedom gets built. This is where investing enters the room and is where it starts making emotional sense rather than just logical sense. The reason the S&P 500 matters is not because the stock market is exciting. It is because ownership compounds. Every month that a portion of your income goes into an index fund instead of into lifestyle maintenance, you are buying a small piece of your own little future automatically. No drama. So you become an owner of the economy instead of simply funding it. Every time you bought the upgrade, the phone company gets richer. Every time you book the restaurant, the owner of the restaurant gets richer. Your money was always building wealth, just not your wealth. The index fund changes all of that. Start investing $500 a month at 25 years old, and your friend starts the exact same amount at 35. Same fund, same discipline, same monthly contribution. By 65, you have roughly 3 times as much money. 3 times from a 10-year head start. Compounding cannot work on time you never give it. The market recovers from crashes. It has done so consistently throughout its entire history, but the years between 25 and 35 given to compounding produce results that no later strategy can replicate. That decade is not recoverable. Once it passes, it passes. The clock is the asset, and the clock is running right now, whether you are participating or watching from the sidelines. The biggest financial mistake is not choosing the wrong fund. It is not missing a stock or failing to predict a correction. It is spending decades building a life that was never yours to begin with, working toward goals you absorbed rather than chose, buying things that made sense in the context of comparison rather than in the context of what you actually wanted. Invest consistently, own the assets, and build a life that actually fits you. The market recovers from every crash. Time does not recover from time wasted. And the time you have right now is worth more than any strategy, any perfect entry point, any moment that finally feels completely right. That is just what every important beginning feels like. So never forget this. Life is easy. We are the ones that complicate it. See you next week on Tuesdays. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Ciao. I'm on my way to the beach.